Hi everyone. This is another help me video. Mike sent me a message saying, "Hi Bo, I am a new player. Could you please do me up a 1,000 point late war German list? I am a beginner and I am too aggressive." Yes, I can. One thing I will note here is that um, if most of the beginners that I've met start out playing Germans, and that is maybe not a good idea because Germany is rather difficult to play competitively, especially for beginners, because there's a lot of pit traps with the German army. And so I would maybe recommend all beginners to start with Americans instead. They're simply much easier to go to. That said, of course I can. The other thing I want to say is that it looks as if um, the tournament you're thinking about here. Mike says he has the nationals in November. It looks as if you're allowing theater platoons, and I am assuming that that is true. Um, if you're not allowing theater platoons, this becomes a whole different ball game for me. It's really difficult to win with the German standard reinforced platoon. Um, so yeah, so I'm going to make you a version of a late war German list based on theater platoons. Right, let's go and see what we can figure out. So I've opened Easy Army for us, and there are two places that I want to go and look. One of them is in the Luftwaffe Defense Force. Here we go. From the D-Day British and Canadian sectors. The Luftwaffe Defense Force. On paper, it looks absolutely crap. Let me show you. It has a lot of infantry choices, but it's very, very limited in what infantry it can take. It has some pioneers, not many. It has a lot of these Luftwaffe field divisions and defense squads. All of them are not very good. It has 3 machine guns. In Easy Army, you can only take the medium machine gun, but in reality, you can take the light machine gun, which you want to do. Then it has double artillery slots and double tank slots, but again, it is very limited. It only has either a Turmstellung or the Renault FT17, which is not a very good tank at all. The point being here is that this is a highly defensive force. Most of your infantry can take Panzerfausts. So up to 2 men can take Panzerfausts. Yes, they're inexperienced. Buy them in huge squads and have double Panzerfaust in them. They are all green, so they might upgrade to regular. That is one thing to do with the infantry. With the light machine guns, with the machine guns, you're buying light machine guns, not medium machine guns, because the light machine guns are movable. They can maneuver. The medium machine guns cannot. Then with the artillery, there's a pretty good spread. Some people might go for an 88 flak. I think you can. It is expensive, but I think you have the points. Otherwise, the 37mm flak Zwilling is an absolute beast. I would highly recommend it. This is not actually a flak Zwilling that's pictured here. It has double heavy autocannons, 2 heavy automatic autocannons on a rotating platform, so you can shoot 360, and it has a gun shield as well, so your troops become harder to kill. That is a beast. That's a 3+ to penetrate. Most light tanks will simply get shredded. And I noticed, Mike, that you had a losing game against an opponent using Recce Kugelwagens. Puts a flak Zwilling on ambush, and you're not going to have that problem. They're simply not going to move. Then, if we're looking at the tanks and SP guns, you can go Turmstellung. but that is just a turret-mounted MMG, not very interesting. Or you can, but you save points. Or you can buy the Renaults, which are very crappy, but it is a movable MMG for the same amount of points. So for me, I would go with the Renaults. They're there, they can maneuver a bit. So yeah, that is the Luftwaffe Defense Force. The trick here is you get to have deployable terrain, and you get to pick whether you want to be attacker or defender, which means that in all scenarios where there is an attacker or defender, you want to be the defender, and you want your deployable terrain to be barbed wire, because you get 60 inches of barbed wire with this Luftwaffe Defense Force. 60 inches, that means that you can cover most of the board in barbed wire, and barbed wire is pretty difficult to get through. The enemy is going to have to drive their tanks through it, or they're going to have infantry standing on the barbed wire, cutting through it turn by turn, as you do when you like shooting with indirect fire. It is so difficult, and it costs a lot of your models because you're going to die. I faced a Luftwaffe Defense Force yesterday with my awesome tank platoon that I won the Danish Nationals with, and I got absolutely creamed by a player that I would think is maybe not as good as me. So Luftwaffe Defense Force, you can really do very bad things with this army. Now, the one that I want you to think about, because that is very, very passive, it's not an aggressive army at all, is I want us to go and look at the 12th SS Panzer. Not this one. Where is it? Just before. Twelfth SS Panzer Grenadier Platoon. That was the one. Now, if you want to run an aggressive German list, I think this is the way to go. It hasn't got that much interesting in the selection. It's pretty standard, but it does have some not regular units. Let's see. We have the 12th SS Panzers, and I think I want to buy them regular because they're going to, and we want to have them in huge units, as big as possible. And I think we can even, for one or two of them, we can buy a lot of submachine guns as well. And maybe one Panzerfaust. Yeah, that is very expensive, 146 points, but you do get a huge unit. You have now a 13-man unit with 6 SMGs in it, and we're going to buy 2 of those. Don't worry, I'm going to explain why I'm doing this at some point. Just going to try and boost all this, get us 1 Panzerfaust. There we go. Now, the idea here is that there's a special rule for this 12th SS Panzer, and that is Angriff. If the unit fails an order test, it must run towards the nearest possible enemy and try to charge them. This means that your army is moving up and moving up and moving up. Even if you fail your order tests, you're still running towards the enemy. That is really powerful for an attacking force here. And they are fanatics, which means that they will get to fight on in close combat. And fanatics combined with tough fighter is really, really good. So you're going to have very, very strong close combat infantry, basically. Now, we can get an inexperienced lieutenant, which I think we should here. We might buy extra dudes for him, but this is the cheapest lieutenant you can get. That is what I'm going for. Machine guns, if you can, you buy the light machine gun. You're not buying the medium machine gun. I think it costs 35 points. So let's just mark them down as medium machine gun teams. But remember, they are supposed to be light machine gun teams. I may be making a mistake on video, live TV here. Right, I think you can buy light machine guns. If you can, do so. Anti-tank Panzerschrecks, they're very expensive. We don't want those. An 8-rat or a 222. I think the 222. But it is open topped. 96 points. What about the 8-rat? One of these two. The 8-rat is very big. 100 points. Yeah. Do we want a light howitzer instead? And an MMG? Might actually be worth it. That means you can split fire. Yeah, let's do that. Tanks. Ooh, we have a lot of different choices of tanks. For me, most of these are too expensive. They're late war tanks, and you're not going to benefit a lot from them. But the Flak Panzer is pretty nice. It's an 8 plus T-38 tank, the Czechoslovakian one, for 100 points with a light autocannon. Okay, I'll take that. Artillery, you want to go for the Nebelwerfer here. Now, a Nebelwerfer doesn't need to be anything but inexperienced. It's never going to hit any better than a 6 anyway, because it's a multiple launcher. Now, the multiple launcher is there to make your enemies spread out. It's not there to kill stuff. It's there to make your enemies spread out so that your infantry can move up and kill him. We want 1 unit of Pioneers regular. We don't want that to be extra big. We want it to have Panzerfaust, though. 2 of those, and a flamethrower. For that, we're going to need some transport. So, heavy field car, Kugelwagen, I think it's too small. Heavy field car. We can have 6 men. It doesn't need to be anything but inexperienced because it's just there to transport the troops, which means that I want to take an extra man, but I think we're just going to stick the lieutenant in this one. So the lieutenant and the pioneers goes together in the heavy field car. Then we need extra infantry, and we need it to be as cheap as chips, and they are fanatic, so they're going to just push. Push, push, push. These guys are there to run towards the enemy with as many bodies as possible and see if they can engage him in close combat. Yeah. If we have points left, I think we may get ourselves a Panzerfaust for each of these inexperienced units. Yeah, we may. Right. 939 points. This is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 units. Sorry, I don't want the Panzerschrecks. They're too expensive and I don't like them. We're going to get a medium mortar and we're going to make it inexperienced instead. That means we have a few points left over. We don't have the points for a sniper right now. We may have for a truck. Let's get 1 truck. It can take 12 men. Boom, boom. Inexperienced. We don't have the points for this. Damn it. Schwimmwagen. What is that? That's a 6 plus. Up to 3 men. Nope. Too small. what do we want to do here? Okay, let's grab ourselves some Panzerfaust for the remaining points. There's no reason to take all 4 Panzerfausts. That just means you have a lot of Panzerfaust in each unit. The thing is, 2 Panzerfaust is good because it means you have like a few extra things that you can do. Oh, wait a minute. What we're going to do is we're going to take off one of these Panzerfausts and stick them on a regular soldier instead, just because they're more usable there. Right. That is it. This is what we want to do. 999 points, 12th SS Panzer. Let's view it. So we have the Keep Second Lieutenant. We have SS Panzer here, 3 riflemen, 7 submachine guns, and double Panzerfaust in both of these units. So 10-man units, pretty nifty. Then we have the 12th SS Panzer Pioneers. That's 5-man double Panzerfaust, a flamethrower. Then we have 10-man inexperienced units with double Panzerfaust. And again, we have Angriff, Suicidal Fanaticism, Fanatics, all of this. This makes him really good in close combat. We have but remember, these units here, when you get them into close combat, they're just going to damage the enemy. They're possibly not going to win because they are inexperienced, right? So they're going to get damaged themselves as well. But they are pretty big units here. Why do I have 11 in 1? I'm going to have to go back and check. 2 LMG teams, medium mortar, inexperienced. The 231. We can downgrade this to a regular 8-rat, the Nebelwerfer, and a Flak Panzer. You know what? The Flak Panzer is open topped. Let's go back and not have the Flak Panzer. Just, I'm open topped. I didn't see that one before. I don't think the open topped are worth it. Stummel, mortar carrier. Forward facing medium mortar. An extra medium mortar for 80 points. That might actually be worth it. But I'm just going to check. 7 additional men. Get 7. Okay. We take 7. Okay. I'm really messing stuff up here. There's something odd going on. I don't know why. We get 7. Why does it say we have 10 then? Because we have 5 and we have 7 additional men. Something is going on. Something weird is going on with Easy Army here. It doesn't add them up properly. So our units are actually bigger. These units are bigger. Right, then 12-man units. What to spend the final points? Stuka Sufus. Ooh. That is a beast. Another multiple rocket launcher. You know what? Let's go. We're buying a Stuka Sufus. That means that we're going to have to get rid of one of the Panzerfausts because it just became too expensive. Right. Okay. That would be my suggestion then. Again, the count here is wrong. Is what it is. Easy Army is not easy to use always. So we have 12-man units here. We have the second lieutenant, that's good. We have the pioneers, and we have two more 12-man units, inexperienced, lovely, lovely, lovely. Two light machine guns, a medium mortar team, inexperienced. The 8 rad with the light howitzer, that makes it more useful against infantry. And you can have split fire, which is also useful. The Nebelwerfer makes it so that the enemy splits up, and the Stuka definitely makes the enemy split up. And again, it can split fire because it has a pintle-mounted MMG. It is open top, so you will get pinned. The lieutenant needs to stay close. We have a heavy field car to transport the flamethrower up. I think this is a quite good version of a competitive late war theater platoon. Right. That's it, Mike. That is my advice. Go get them. And remember one thing, lists are no excuse and no replacement for skill. So train, and then you can maybe, win over hardcore players. Right. Cheers.